If you're anxious, overwhelmed, or unsure where a connection is going, you feel like you're spending time together and you're getting to know each other on the surface level, you may even be intimate with each other, but it doesn't seem like the relationship is progressing into anything serious. It's been going on for months and you just don't know where it's going to go and you just feel like you're hitting your head against a brick wall. Well, my love, it could be that you are currently in a situationship. If this sounds like a dynamic that you're currently in, then this video is for you. We're going to discuss what a situationship is, what type of attachment styles contribute to this, and you might be operating from one of these attachment styles without even realising. So we're going to break that pattern today. And if you enjoy content that encourages you to become the best version of yourself, that encourages you to be your authentic self without apology, and you just enjoy self-development, then this channel is for you. So if this sounds like your vibe, I'd love if you could like and subscribe. So what is a situationship? This varies from person to person. From personal experience, you've spent time together, go out and do things together. That could be the cinema, that could be bowling, or simply anything that kind of seems like a date. There's no clarity on the connection. There's no certainty that this is going to go anywhere. You're not meeting the friends, you're not meeting the family, you're just spending time together, getting to know each other, being intimate with each other. There's no real future. And that can drive you absolutely insane because you want to have a future with someone, you want to build a connection with someone, you'd like it to be with this person, but it just doesn't seem anything more than surface level. You might obviously discuss personal things, you might talk about your past and things that have happened in your life. What is going on between you remains very surface level. There's no label, there's no progression, there's again no meeting of the family. There's no expectation of you being in their future. You just talk about the present and the now. And it feels exciting. There's a level of it that feels exciting. There's like a dopamine hit. When you get a message from them, you go, oh my God, I feel good. I feel worthy. When you see them, you feel excited. You know deep down in your heart that this isn't a healthy situation for you. You want more from that person. It might be that you've had the conversation and they've said, I'm just not willing to give you, or I can't give you what you need. You hold on to it because you are hopeful that this could turn into something. You're hopeful that you could change their mind. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We are human. But there's a level where it's okay and there's a level where it becomes unhealthy. So the level of it becoming unhealthy could be that it's triggering your attachment styles. So there's a variety of attachment styles. There's a mixture. So you've got secure, which is the ultimate dream, where you trust that person, you trust yourself, and you just allow things to unfold. There's anxious. So anxious is basically you don't hear from this person all day. You showcase the worst case scenario in your brain. You take the silence as rejection. You self-sabotage. Your day gets ruined if you haven't heard from them. You think about the time that they've replied and think, okay, they haven't replied in this much time. Are they drifting away? And you don't just feel it in your body, you feel it in your mind and everything. You feel like it's all consuming and it can really ruin your day. And then you have the opposite, which is avoidant attachment styles. And this could be someone that really wants something. They really want to get to know someone. They really want to be close to someone. But as soon as the closeness happens, they go, no, too much. I feel too overwhelmed by this. I can't continue. I have to run. This is going to be too intense for me. Seeing me for who I really am. I'm being completely exposed right now. They can see me for exactly who I am. Vulnerability scares me. I'm really, really scared of vulnerability. If I open up for who I am, will they run away? Will they leave me? Maybe that's the case. Maybe the best thing to do is actually protect myself. I can't deal with these intense emotions. And the crazy thing is, with those two attachment styles, those are the ones that attract each other the most. So the avoidant tends to go to the anxious. Of course, you start off the relationship, you go, oh, I really want to get to know you. I really want to get to know you too. The avoidant is kind of a bit like, I'm getting a lot of attention from this person. Like, oh, okay, let's see how it plays out. I'll give it a little bit of a go. Then they get to know that person, get too close, and they go, oh, no. And the problem is with the anxious is they'll notice them pulling back. And from them pulling back, they'll see it as a personal thing and think, this is a me problem. I need to fix it. I need to make things okay again for me to feel safe. But it's everything to do with that person and not to do with the anxious person. But in an anxious person's mind, they just want to be loved. They just want to be valued. And they just want to feel like the connection is everything they're making up in their mind. Because ultimately, when you're anxiously attached, you make up these scenarios, you fantasize, you think of how this person could be. You put this person on an absolute pedestal and you think there's nothing better. Like, I can't find better than them. The problem is, the more you get invested early on to this person, the more you end up attached. And the issue is as well, early on, an avoidant will be very much like, could be a bit hot and cold, might take a couple days to respond. And obviously as people, we get busy, things happen. But I do think in a healthy relationship, you should touch base, or at least at the start, it's exciting. So you want to kind of get to know each other a bit, right? So at least touch base once or twice a day, just to show you've got those intentions there. The problem with an avoidant is, once they sense closeness, they will pull away. Now, again, will trigger the anxious attached person, and they'll be like, oh my God, I need to try harder. I need to put more effort in. Realistically, no matter what you do, this person is going to always be avoidant. Unless they figure out in themselves this is what they're doing, they're always going to pull back when things get too much. They're always going to struggle to open up and be honest and vulnerable about their feelings. Because you don't know. It could be that from a point in time when they were younger, they could have been really open and expressive with their feelings and someone shut them down. They could have had it where they've grown up in a situation where talking about your feelings was a no-no. You can't talk about those feelings. So anything with depth is really difficult for them. It could be that they were just so hurt by someone they gave their absolute heart and world to, they crumbled their life. And now this is their protection mechanism to stop them from getting hurt in the future. And anxious attached, the problem is the more you kind of grip onto it, the more you put pressure onto it, the more you over-invest at the start, the more you're going to push people away. And not just avoidant people that are actually secure in themselves, because they're going to want to meet someone that's got their own life, they've got their own things going on, and not feel like they've got to constantly check in or they've got to reassure that person. It's up to you. And again, from an anxious attachment perspective, I also understand it can feel so scary. And all you want to do is feel loved. All you want to do is feel like that person cares for you. And you feel like you finally meet someone that connects to you, that you get on with, and you just don't want to let it go. Neither of these are that you're bad people. It's just that you need to heal. It's that you need to take time to reflect and ask yourself, why do I do these things? Why do I rely on someone for a text to make my day? Why do I rely on someone to validate me? Why do I run away when someone gets close to me? Why do I avoid opening up about my feelings and being open and authentic and vulnerable? Why am I scared of being seen? They're all good questions to reflect on and understand about yourself. Because the issue is, until you start facing these things head on, until you start really thinking about these questions and going deep, you're always going to be that person that's going to attract the opposite. So again, if you're anxious, you're always going to attract an avoidant, because it feels like that little breadcrumb, that little bit of communication is enough because you're being loved and you're being seen. But my darling, it's not enough. You deserve someone who's consistent. You deserve someone who shows up, who is honest with you, who wants to connect with you on an emotional level and wants to talk about those difficult conversations. You don't need to go on the roller coaster of up and down, up and down, up and down, or starting your day, will they message me today? Will they not message me today? And of course, at the start, when you're first getting to know each other, it's exciting, it's fun, and you don't need to be talking all day, but your anxious brain jumps into, well, if we don't talk, then something's happened, something's wrong, something's changed. Don't get me wrong, we shouldn't get this mixed up with communication. I do think communication is very important in relationships. But if you're just getting to know someone and they've kind of gone a bit quiet for the day, it could be that they've got their own life going on, which they should be. And if it becomes a pattern, if it becomes a thing where they're always busy, it could be just that they're too busy for you, and then you address it and say, I really value communication, it seems like you're very busy, are you sure that you are ready to pursue a connection? And remembering that regardless of the outcome, you're going to be okay. And when you're an anxious girly, this is something that I've had in the past. I've definitely had anxious attachment and avoidant, so great little double whammy. I've learned to understand the patterns and what is happening and why it's coming up. Because again, these attachments can start off in childhood. They can start off when you grow up. It's what's mirrored to you. If you're mirrored someone inconsistent, someone hot and cold, someone that makes your adrenaline spike, or someone who's emotionally absent, doesn't talk to you deeply, doesn't go into emotions and is really closed off, you're naturally going to form these unhealthy attachments. So it's about realising which one is showing up for you. From this video, hopefully you can understand that, okay, maybe I have a tendency to have anxious attachment, maybe I have a tendency to be avoidant, maybe I have a bit of both. Because anxious and avoidant, if they go together, it's very much like, I really want closeness, I really want to get to know someone, I really value this connection. But as soon as they get close, you go, oh no, this is too scary, this is too much. But then when you don't hear from them, you go, why am I not hearing from them? What's going on? And then you avoid talking about your feelings. But then you also get nervous because you don't talk about your feelings. So they just both come up at once. And yeah, these attachments aren't your fault, but they are your responsibility to heal. Because you, like everyone, deserve a healthy connection. You deserve someone who's going to show up for you every day from day one, who's not going to make you question things, who's not going to make you question if they like you, if they want to get to know you. As a common phrase, if they like you, you'll know. If you don't, you'll be confused. I've watched plenty of videos saying that that is true. I've spoken to guys who've said that's true. And I've even got friends that are very much like, if I like her, I'm going to go for her. So remember, girlies, anyone, if you are noticing them pull back, that's not a sign for you to go further forward, to overextend, to push yourself more. That's a time for you to reflect and think, is this connection for me? That's a time for you to look back and go, this doesn't work for me. And the issue is, once you're in it, when you're deep in it, it feels so addictive. It feels so intense. You get a limerence where you're obsessed and you think, I'm stuck in this forever. They're the best thing since sliced bread. But you're actually only getting breadcrumbs. You're too blind to see. You're like, no, this is great, this is amazing. And the hardest part is moving on from these things, from these situations, because the problem is the person who ends it, which is usually avoidant, doesn't give you the answers. It feels very much like out of the blue. You don't have the chance to understand why. You don't get the closure. You don't get to live out the fantasy that you've made up in your head. You don't get to see the potential, because ultimately the whole time you were dating the potential, you were making up this person in your mind to be this amazing god, and actually what they were showing you was they have avoidant tendencies and they can't give you what you want long term, but your anxious, beautiful anxious brain was going, maybe they can. And again, it feels so hard to let go of, because you just think to yourself, maybe they'll come back and we can actually work on it and we can make it into what I imagined it to be. And these are the times where it's important to choose yourself. So if you want to learn about choosing yourself, I've got a video that I've posted a few weeks ago to discuss that. I shared a very personal story of letting go of someone that I really liked and I thought we got on really well. But it actually turns out it was just my anxious attachment and their avoidant attachment just working together. And it ultimately ended with them being like, I can't do this, I've got too much going on in my life. And then me being like, oh, you know, maybe I can fix it. Maybe I can see where we can work on this and maybe they'll come back. And when they do come back, I'll be ready. But again, like that video, you're putting yourself second. You're not prioritising your own needs. You're miserable. You're thinking, oh, maybe one day. But then you just end up putting yourself on hold. You avoid the healing side of it. You avoid living your life and loving yourself before anyone else. And it just always keeps you in a state of limbo, which is not fair for yourself. Because again, until that avoidant person does the work, they are going to keep attracting those sort of relationships where they're going to get to know someone, they're going to get close to that person. As soon as it becomes real, they're going to run away. And no matter how much your little anxious brain wants to go, yeah, but I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Stop right there. I know it's hard. I understand. I get the spirals we have in our mind. But this isn't about them. This is about you. This whole situation, this whole mindset you have yourself in, the person that you made them become isn't them. It's the person you thought they could be. It's the version of them that you made up in your mind that made you fall absolutely in love with them, absolutely obsessed. It's the person that you wanted them to be, but they showed you they couldn't be that person. And it's not to hate on that person, because again, these attachment styles, sometimes you're not aware of them, sometimes they're really hard to understand, and sometimes you're just happy living that way. I don't personally understand how I, in the past, without realising, could have been happy living anxiously. But once you're aware of it, you make that choice. You make that choice of, I'm going to start healing it and working towards a better outcome. Or, I'm aware of this and I'm going to stay the same. But be aware, if you do the second thing, you're going to end up and keep going through the same cycle. A good few things to realise for yourself: if you're anxious, it's good for you to go for someone secure. But you need to do the work first. Because that person is secure, so they've got their own life going on, they're busy, they have things popping up all the time, they might take a bit of time to reply. If you haven't done the inner work, then someone who's secure in themselves are going to find it really hard to have to reassure you. And again, it isn't their responsibility. Someone that's secure, if they attract someone avoidant, or if someone avoidant comes into their life, they're not going to be dealing with the rubbish that person comes with, in the sense of they're not going to be dealing with the hot and cold behaviour. Straight away they're going to be like, no, this doesn't work for me. We're not suited. There's nothing against you, but I need this, this and this. So again, this is about building your boundaries, about knowing what it is that you need. So if you're anxiously attached, you could value communication. If you are avoidant, you could value a bit of space. But again, it's up to you to communicate that. So it's knowing exactly what it is that ticks you off, understanding why it ticks you off so you can heal it in your own mind, and bringing that forward to the next relationship. And it's human nature to find vulnerability and being open very scary. It's very understandable. You deserve a happy, healthy connection. You deserve someone that shows up for you every day, that reminds you of how special you are, how valuable you are, and damn right, how lovable you are. You need to, first of all, realise that for yourself. You need to realise for yourself, I am lovable, I am valuable, I deserve someone to show up for me every day. If someone says they're going to do something, I deserve for them to do it. Because if you don't think like that, you will start being with people, you'll continue being with people that don't show up when they say they will, don't do what they say they're going to do, don't value you, don't put you first. And then that cycle repeats itself again. So in summary, notice your attachment style, understand what it is that triggers you, work towards healing that, and then write down your boundaries and non-negotiables for your future partner. And remember, you're a lovable, amazing, beautiful soul, and you deserve everything you want and more. I hope you have a lovely rest of your week, and ciao for now, Bellas.